Imagine that the Olympics were not for the elite athletes.
Who would they be for?
Big, beautiful men's. And when they all jumped into the pool for synchronized swimming at the same time, they all shouted, "Ready or not, because here we go!" What up, y'all, and welcome back to the Dumb Podcast. I am Don Dario.
And I'm Kev The Allstar.
For today's topic, we pay homage to our role models in life.
We'll also talk about some of the tips and creating energy of the stage and the haha hack.
And as always, we end it with a little jiggity joke session, but we've got some info to share. Folks, if you'd like to support the Dumb Podcast and you shop on Amazon.com, please consider using our link that can be found at www.dondarriocomedy.com. Our Amazon link contributes pennies on the dollar for every purchase made. And right now we need your help. We've got about 160 days left on there for 3 purchases. All right. We just need 3 purchases within 160 days. We got to do that before it expires, or else we've got to start all over again. The funds are going to help us produce some quality entertainment for you guys, for everyone. And, everybody here and the viewers, thank you in advance. Also, I'll be performing stand-up comedy at JP's Comedy Club September 17th at 9 p.m. I'll also be performing at the Desert Rose Steakhouse September 18th. Just found out I'll be hosting that event. So get in there, folks. Get your tickets. I've got some physical ones. Contact me if that's what you like. If not, the link will be posted as well. Got invited to be a guest on a podcast and a virtual show. Once those are out, I'll give you some links. Other than that, more news to come. Kev?
Yeah, thanks, Don. Yeah, aside from hitting the local open mics around the town, you can. I'm actually waiting to be the podcast about to be released, but that's on Life Coaching Comedians podcast. Really looking forward to that being dropped, and I'll share that in some of my links and some of my websites. But also from that, you can catch me at JP's Comedy Club September 3rd at 9 p.m., and that's located in Gilbert, Arizona.
We thank you for all your support here at the Dumb Podcast. Now, we want to hear from you. So if you have any jokes you want to hear on air, send them to us, and we'll make sure you're on the next episode. Also, if you just like to say hi or give us your feedback, we'd love to hear it. You can reach us by email at thedumpodcast@gmail.com. That's thedumpodcast@gmail.com. Or by phone at 602-935-7307. You've got 3 minutes. Now let's hear it. Folks, we've got a killer for you tonight, man. I'm excited to get this podcast going. So kick back, chillax, and enjoy. Today, we welcome an amazing individual and a very talented comedian. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Kubari Eady. Yeah, give it up.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I am so excited to have you here, Kubari, man. Welcome to the Dumb Podcast. Thank you for being here. How are you? How's everything going?
I'm well. I'm a big fan. I've watched all the episodes. I like the intro. I like the way you're doing things here, and I'm really glad to be a part of it tonight.
Nice, man. Nice, man. Kubari, so this is the haha hack. This is the segment where we share our experiences of doing stand-up comedy while we're all in the trenches together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we may not be professionals just yet, but there are the things that we definitely learn, over the course of trial and tribulation. Mm-hmm. And we love to share with everyone.
Yep. Today, we're going to be talking about creating energy on stage, hosting versus actually having a spot. I think it's amazing that you're here today because I've seen you host many a show, and I'm excited to get your feedback on this, man. I've only done spots. I've actually, just announced that I've got my first hosting gig, which I'm excited to do. The only hosting experience I have is this podcast. So the only thing that I have to share on this is doing spots, and I think that everyone doing spots kind of creates their own type of energy. It could be fast paced. It could be slow and relaxed. It could be they could use their nervous or in their anxiety, to kind of work for them as well. Or a lot of people out there use their anger. What makes them upset. They start ranting, and people love that. They eat that up. But yeah, man, creating energy on stage can either be instant or it could be built up as well. What do you think? What do you think, Kubari? Do you think you have do you think your type of energy is building up, or is it instant? And do you think it's different between hosting and doing spots?
Well, I came up with this idea that the moment your name is called, the floor is yours, the stage is yours, and the room is yours. And so from that very, very moment, I might be still walking up on stage, but at that very moment, I'm taking the opportunities. Even before the mic is in my hands, I'm waving my arms, I'm joining in the clap, I'm doing anything to get it, to get that energy going. And that a lot of times, even for me, it creates my own energy. Before I'm coming on stage, what's up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to get people going and to let them know what type of energy they're going to be getting for the next few minutes. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mentioned clapping my hands. I do a lot of clapping. Like, yeah. Give it up for your host. All right. Give it up for, the comedians you've heard or whatever. And that creates noise, which also contributes to the energy. And it contributes to them having a good time. People want to go someplace where they have to clap.
Yeah.
They have to get it up. And I think that's a part of the whole live experience. I love live comedy.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I had a chance recently to go to a show out of town in the Fort Worth area, Hyenas.
Yeah.
And I got there early and walked into the room, and it's this really densely, there's a lot of chairs in this room. Yeah. And in the center of all these chairs is this tiny stage and this microphone and this stool. And I'm like,
in a circle? Oh, really? Like the celebrity theater.
Yeah.
Wow.
And all I could think about is, this thing that we do called comedy, where we get up on stage and we create right in the moment. And, energy is one of the things that we create. And I feel like it's important to create a certain energy. Everybody's different, of course. Yeah. But for me, things like, before I even get the mic, raising my hands, letting people know, clapping. And then the first few words of my mouth, I was also taught to get to it as quickly as possible, to get some punchlines going as quickly as possible. And I got some in my hip pocket, depending on the situation that I throw out, just to boom, get them going all off the bat. The first few words are my first punchline, which, I'm listening to see whether or not, how I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to fall on my face that first moment. It happens. My big thing, and I'm not scared to share it. My big thing is I kind of look like Theo Huxtable from the Cosby. And some people don't know who that is.
Oh, I never even thought about it till you said it. I was like, oh, it's awesome. Maybe that's why I always want to give you a hug, man. I always want to hug you. I'm like, I grew up with you. You don't remember me?
Kubari, maybe a newer film you could use with the same character is 8 Mile. I don't know his name in the movie, but that's him.
Okay, all right.
In 8 Mile, right?
I don't know.
He's the DJ. He's the club DJ.
They refer to his name all the time too.
Okay.
I mean, because I don't know, but that's like the most recent thing I've seen, man, besides the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Every time I've seen you do it, man, I crack up laughing at it.
Yeah,
I know who it is, and I think you look just like him.
Yeah.
Kev, what do you think? What do you think about creating energy? Do you think it's like an instant thing, or do you think it's like a build up type of thing?
Well, comedy is an individual sport, and everybody's different. I know people that like to get on stage and take their time, set up their stool, the whole 9 yards, get the notes in place or what have you. But for me, though, it starts instantly.
Yeah.
And it's as soon as my name is called.
Yeah. Kev, what do you think?
Shoot, Don, Kubari, I think energy is, I like what Kubari's saying, definitely, because I definitely agree. I think it's like, I'm about it. It's, I don't think energy is created. I think it's there. It's like a light switch. It is always, the current is always flowing. All I got to do is flip it on, flip it off. That's it.
Nice. Yeah, that's a very good point, man. I like that. See, that's why I like to have different people on here, bring different perspectives of things. I've seen Kubari host. Kev, have you ever hosted a comedy show before? I want to say I heard you did.
Yeah, I've hosted a couple times.
And
I've definitely witnessed Kubari host a number of shows, but I've only hosted a couple times. And then hosting on Zoom is a whole different world.
Yeah,
because that's like Kubari stated, doing comedy, live comedy is really where it's at.
Yeah. And was creating energy for you as a host different, do you think?
For who? For me? Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah, definitely. Because, you got, when you're hosting, you're really spending a lot of time on that stage. You're not just you're doing a couple minutes of your stuff or your material, or you're just doing crowd work. But, you get to fill that crowd. And if they're not filling this comic or that comic or you, that can be a problem.
Yeah.
I even before I got asked to do this hosting of the show, I just wanted to be on the show, really. And then I just found out last night that I'm going to host it. So even before this, I was already taking notes, kind of researching on what to do. So I took a little bit from you, Kubari, took a little bit from you, Kev. I take a lot from you, Kev, every single time that we do this podcast. But I did write some down, so I'm just going to share those with everybody really quick. And this is one that I think I have to work on a lot. It's using the correct pronunciation of things, I'm Hispanic. I come from a different place. I roll my R's, but I get lazy on some stuff. I don't say probably, I say probably. You know what I mean? So some people aren't going to understand what I'm talking about. So some stuff I have to work on. Know when to be loud versus soft. Sometimes, I think we were talking a little bit earlier, which we can totally get into, being at a bar, you're wrestling that crowd. You're trying to wrestle that energy, that loudness, the noise that's going on. I did that yesterday. I went to the Lighthouse down here, which is by my house, just to talk to Jesse Kid Ever, about setting up shows. I want to start learning, and also to get some tickets for that show that I'm going to be on. But I stayed. It was a karaoke night, and he gave us some time. So we went up and we did our thing, man.
Nice.
And
it's a bar. You're used to the quiet. Everybody's settled down. But a bar, there's music, there's television, there's
lots of individual conversations going on.
Exactly. But, creating that energy in that environment to take over all of that, feels so good, man. It feels so good. One thing that I did learn, and this was on my own, you guys can give your input on this, but I thought, a host, to me, is the only one that can go up and ask how's everyone doing? And I think you have one shot. You do it in the beginning to get to people to react, to get it going, you know, the conversation back and forth, to get that energy built up. And I've seen it day after day, person after person, continuously going up, and that's the first thing that comes out of your mouth. And look, I do it. I still go up there and do it, but every time I'm practicing my set, I delete that one. If I say that, I stop and I delete that recording, because I don't do that. They're not gonna react. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's you know, I've heard it said that, you know, when an audience hears how you're doing for the 6th time in one night, it kind of, you know, reeks of a little bit of amateurism.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, it happens. I think the first thing we think of when we get up there is trying to connect with the people. And the first thing you do when you try to connect with somebody is ask them how they're doing. But it does kind of feel like a little bit of, you know, amateurism, but I can see that it happens. I can see how it happens.
Yeah.
My thing is to get right into it. And so, like I said, some of the first words out of my mouth are leading right into my first punchline, which I'm hoping hits. And so I can get right, if I'm doing a spot, so I can get right into it and get past the pleasantries, which have already been expressed, like you said, by the host. That's
a good point. So that I on doing a spot, I have a rule where if I'm doing a spot, I'm trying to get that first laugh within a minute. Do you guys have anything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, a minute. I was going to say a minute's too long.
Yeah.
15 seconds.
15 seconds, man.
What about hosting? Is that different?
I mean,
That's very, very, very different.
Can you wait a little bit before you get that first laugh? Are you just trying to get people to clap and cheer, and you know what I mean? Is it different in that rule that you have?
Yes, for me, part of hosting is less about you and more about the show. You know, you're more like the frame for the show, and you're responsible for the show. The show is your baby.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's other things to do, like cover the house rules, you know, the drink minimums, you know, push, you know, whatever the house is pushing, comedyschools.net or what have you, if you're
right.
You know, and all that has to happen. I usually do that towards the end of my time, but I've seen some people do it right out of the gate. So definitely, you know, there's more to me in particular. There's more to my hosting than just my set that I want to, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of secondary.
Yeah.
More importantly, get this show going off on the right foot. Get the people on your side. Johnny Carson said 80% of the game is getting people to like you. And it starts at the beginning of the show. We want to have a great show, man. It starts with you, the host. You're the face they're going to see repeatedly. Yep. And if they hate that shit, then...
Thanks, man. Hey.
Oh, man. I better get off of this show, man. I better get off. I better not host. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're going to do great. You're going to do just fine.
Great, man.
I'm ready, man. You know, when I was a kid, I could never keep up with one comedian who now I love, you know, and I loved then, but I could never keep up with Robin Williams. Every time I saw him host an event or something and he did his thing, it was too fast, it was too this, and it was too that. I was just like, oh my God, I could, my brain wasn't there yet. It wasn't developed because I was a kid, you know. Have you guys ever not been able to keep up with like a professional comedian for whatever reason?
Yes. There's a guy, he used to do Saturday Night Live Weekend Update. His name is Dennis
Miller.
Dennis Miller. His stuff is so smart. It's so quick. That it's his references, the whole night. I mean, he's just so smart. And that was one of the reasons. I used to watch him as a kid because he used to do Monday Night Football. He was up in the booth doing shtick. And I'm like, this is football. I still don't understand you, man.
Yeah, I still don't understand you. Oh man, did you guys ever watch Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn?
Yeah, yeah, huh?
Yeah.
So he's got that New York, kind of Irish New York. It's really fast, Jim Norton was on that show, and he would always like out host him on purpose. It was like a thing that they battled back and forth. And Jim Norton to me is like one of my role models in comedy. Do you guys have like a role model in comedy, Kev?
Yeah, that's easy. Myself.
Ah,
No,
There
I would say Richard Pryor and probably Jim Carrey, man. Richard Pryor and Jim Carrey. I mean, definitely. They're just powerhouses.
Nice. What about you, Kubari?
I got a list, and I've shortened it down.
Just right now, you just
Right now, I was like, oh. No, just some people that are really close to me. This woman by the name of Luz Paso, she's out of Los Angeles. She's a working comedian. Actually ran into her in Fort Worth this past weekend. Hella funny.
Yeah.
Great with the crowd. Her accent, it's kind of hard to understand, but then sometimes it's just so charming, and it's right on. It's a heavy Latino accent, but she's great.
Yeah.
Sean Dillingham is a coach of mine, and he's somebody that helps me with some rewriting and stuff like that. He's also somebody that he's actually the guy that gave me my first chance to be on stage.
Yeah.
We still work together on a weekly basis. Samantha Behrman, she's also a comedian and a teacher. And then this guy named Dat Fan, he won America's Last Comic Standing.
Yeah.
He's gonna kill me for not getting that right, but he won Last Comic Standing a number of years ago. He does these improvised sets, man, where he just gets up and just starts talking.
Oh yeah.
And he's ranting, and it's hilarious. And he's bringing in the people from the crowd. He might say something stupid and like call out somebody's look, even if they're not looking. You know what I'm saying? I love people who are quick on their feet, mostly because I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work to that point.
Yeah, me too.
But I love comics that are quick on their feet, man. And they take something that's happening in the room and they use it. And anybody that can do that is A1 in my book. And I'm trying to get there. My heroes in the game are, the Richard Pryors, the Eddie Murphys, the Dave Chappelles of the world. I'm a huge Seinfeld guy.
Yeah.
Huge fan of his artistry, the way he works it on stage. Johnny Carson is my guy. I used to watch The Late Show back in the day, and he's real smooth on stage. I like guys that just, it's like nothing. I try to emulate that.
You got a whole bucket list.
You did have a whole
models,
bucket.
man.
I do. I
Damn.
I only got like 19 more names here. I'm just playing. One more mention. I mentioned a woman by the name of Samantha Behrman. She helps me a lot on the business side of comedy. I feel like comedy is it's a layered thing, man.
Yeah.
Being funny on stage is just one part of the game, man. If that's all you got, you don't got much. And she really helps me out on the business side. And I definitely need coaching on something like that. The generations really helped me out. My dad, my hero in life. He's my number one. He almost died serving the U.S. Navy for 25 years, and then also backed that up with another 20 years for the U.S. Post Office.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Definitely.
I really look up to him. And then also my son, man. I got a 9-year-old son, and I'm not saying he's going to be a comedian. My ex-wife would kill me, but I am saying that he's got that what I do in comedy is for him.
Yeah.
A legacy.
Yes.
For him to see someone work it. And I'm starting from the bottom and I'm working my way up, and I want him to see that. Nice. And I'm not saying he's a comedian, but the kid has that type of skill at 9. He's fearless. Give him a room full of a crowded room, and he'll find a way to be the center of attention. And I just think that what I do in comedy, even though he may not be a comedian, is for him. And I just wanted to say that the generations of my life, my dad ahead of me and my son below me, really influence and really push and really give me that
Yeah.
Kubari, man, I gotta chime in on this right now because I'm feeling it, man. I love what you just said. You know, because some of us, you know, we didn't have that dad or whatever, that role model per se. So to hear you say that about your son, it automatically took my mind to and we talking about Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy Raw, when he's young and he's in that little family thing, and they're like, this boy got talent.
Yeah.
And you know, it's the whole family thing, and the way you just elaborated on your son, man, and just being in the center of the room, you know, young and just delivering
naturally.
Awesome, man. It's awesome.
Well, man, you guys just started the weekly topic, so bam, right in your face. There it is. That's what we're talking about, man. Role models. I was gonna start, but Kubari, that was amazing, man. That was great. I do see that a lot, you know, in your social media, and I think that's what I love about you. I think that's where I connect with you, because we did a show, and you were the host, and you were great. You know, I always give it up to people who do their job, and you did your job, and it was awesome. And but then I started following you, and then I would see your posts, and it's all positive, and it's you take out your son and you do amazing things that he's accomplishing for the first time, and you're posting it, and to everybody. And I don't know, sometimes you think it's, you know, a small little thing, but to me, I'm like, dang, that's big stuff right there. You know, that's good stuff. Like, we go on stage and we get the spotlight for a little bit, and it feels good and all that, but man, the real thing is out there. You know, it's your kids, it's your family, it's the people that love you and the people that you love, you know. So that's what the topic's about this week. You know, it's just, you know, show that respect, you know, show that, not respect, but that appreciation, you know. And I think it should go both ways. You know, if you're that role model in somebody's life, you know, then, and let them know that you're there from, you know. Let them know that you appreciate that they see you in that light, you know.
Give them the roses now. I whenever I'm able to be on a lineup with a touring headliner or just somebody that's above me in the game, I don't hesitate to pick their brain, you know, chat them up, see what kind of things I can get from them. But also express my appreciation, man. This thing ain't easy.
Right.
This work ain't easy.
Hell no.
But you know, there are some people that have stuck with it, and I plan to. Yeah. There's some people that have stuck with it long enough to develop some, you know, some suaveness about them on that stage. And there's nothing more impressive to me than seeing somebody step on that stage and own it.
Control it. Yeah.
And be technical. You know, there's a technicality. We're not just up there spitting, man. There's a technicality to it. And I appreciate that. And I don't hesitate to express that. And my list is long because I just appreciate all these people, how they come in these different ways, man. I mean, there's the Kevin Allstar that are going to come one way. There's the Dave Chappelle that's going to be historical. You know what I'm saying? There's it's going to be observation.
You went down a whole list. I just have one more I want to throw on there, man. Patrice O'Neill, to me.
She's probably, man, come on. She's probably on his list.
He just came out and stomped in there and did what he did. I saw this one, just somebody recorded in LA. I think it was the store. I think he just sitting on a stool, just drinking his drink. Just, what's up, motherfuckers? And just boom, he's on the East Coast. He's coming to the West Coast, making fun of them right off the bat. It's amazing, man. And, you know, my role models in life, though, are a little bit different. Mine are actually both dead. My role models are my dad and my grandpa. My dad, my role model, because he was very artistic, you know. He would play music and sing. His drawings were amazing. He was very creative with his hands, and I also loved his calm demeanor. My grandpa wasn't really my real grandpa. He was my step grandpa, but he was there since I was born, so that's what I knew. But, you know, he had his family. My grandma had her family, and he decided to, you know, support my grandmother and support her kids and support our family. So, you know, that, I guess that's why I ended up doing the same thing. you know, and he was in the military, so very honorable, well respected in the community. He's the guy that when I would go to the grocery store with him or whatever in our community, he'd walk in and they'd call him Don. You know, his name was Manuel. They would call him Manny. So it was Don Manny every time he'd come in. You know, it's like, oh, that's freaking awesome. You know, he's outgoing and funny as fuck, man. Funny as fuck. And I'm a role model to my kids, you know. I'm not too sure about my stepchildren. I may be, you know. My son, definitely, you know. So I watch my step. My daughter, I'm not too sure. I don't think, but I still act and I still do things as if I am, you know. And I think that I try to be that role model to all my kids equally the same. And it's just up to them if they decide, you know, if I am or not, you know. But I love my kids across the board, man. What about you guys? Are you guys role models for anybody? Kubari, you said for your son. Kev, what about you?
Go ahead, Kubari. You're gonna.
Well, I have to take it back a little bit. I used to work in ministry. I had a wonderful time doing that. I worked as a preacher for about 15 years in Churches of Christ, where I also engaged a ton in youth ministry. I have kids today still, or they're adults now, but they hit me up online, glad that I'm doing what I'm doing, but not surprised that I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I relish the opportunity to not just my son, but be a beacon of light for any young person. Because I come from, my family wasn't rich coming up, grew up in San Diego. Yeah.
Growing up in Orange County, you know, in the hood.
Grew up next to the beach.
Yeah, but we were poor.
You could be.
We came from a long. I come from a long way, and I'm so very thankful that God is. I threw God in the mix. God has brought me to 42 years of age, and I got something to say to a young person that's willing to listen. So I'm just very thankful for any opportunity I get to be a role model. And to me, comedy is the perfect profession to do so, man.
Yes.
We have so much to say and such a cool artistry, you know what I'm saying? The end result of our art is not somebody saying, it's a laugh.
It's funny. It's entertaining.
It can make you cry, dude. I've seen plenty of comedy out there that has made me tear up at the end. You know, so it's amazing. I'm trying to get to that level. That's how I'm trying to build mine. You know, slowly but surely, have a message in there that's gonna affect somebody, not just with laughter, but hit them somewhere else. You know what I mean? Kev, what about you? Do you have role models?
Absolutely not. Growing up, no, I didn't. I had no one. I had people who I knew I didn't want to be like. I can say that. You know. That's just the facts. That was just my life, you know. But and then in the mid '90s, I got introduced to Master P, and that you know, his lyrics, his lyrics and everything. Before he said but anyway, yeah, you know, his underground stuff. But no, that was. I mean, the whole hustle. I just knew that dude was gonna take the world by storm. Like I was like, yo.
Hell yeah. Well, Kev, you were posting stuff about, which I love about this. Back in the day, you started with freestyle stuff, right? That was what you were writing first, dude.
Yeah.
I did the same thing, and I think that's what kind of drove me into comedy. Because every time, dude, I would freestyle. It'd be cool, and then it started getting wonky, and it started getting funky, and then all of a sudden, it's gross.
What are we talking about?
Well, you know, that's like where it started, you know, writing on paper, you know, compared to freestyling to putting words on paper and then reforming, moving, erasing this line and moving it here. It's like joke writing, you know, you got a lot of comics that can go on stage and just do crowd work. And, you know, back in the day, I wasn't much of the mama joke dude. I would just quick, you know, I took it very personal.
Yeah.
And thank goodness for the military and the Marines. Like, that built my sense of humor. I was able to get thicker skin because, you know, I was in it,
Wow.
man. But
That's crazy.
you know, but that's where it
It's the
started for me.
opposite.
So
That's nuts, man. And Kev, whose role model are you?
you know, there's times where I think like no one, you know, because I always expect somebody to say like, hey, I look up to you, I admire you, you're my role model. But I mean, if I was just hoping, I would say my kids, you know.
Yeah.
You know, during my military career, you know, I was gone a lot, and there's other things in my life that kind of took me away from being the dad that maybe I wanted to be. But I would definitely say my kid, you know, because no matter what, I've always chased after my dreams. So that's the type of thing I hope she sees in me.
Yeah.
Is that somebody, because you can blame whoever you want. You can say it's this fault. You can say it was my upbringing. You can say whatever you want. But when it's all said and done, you need to handle your dreams.
Yep.
You need to chase your dreams.
Yep.
By all means necessary, go after your dreams.
Yep.
So that's what I would say for my kid. Just, I hope that's the legacy. Like Kubari was saying, you know, all of us were saying, Don, you're leaving these videos for your child. You know, Kubari, you said I love that you said your son. You know, my daughter was at my very first stand-up show at Tempe Improv. So I'm so happy she made it to that. My very first time. You know, we only get first one time. That's it. You know?
Yeah. And that's why, you know, I think we should voice our appreciation to those people that we look up to. Because, you know, on my dad's deathbed, you know, I had to do it, you know, that made me think, and I switched it up, and I changed that with my grandpa, you know, I let him know before he passed away how much I appreciated him. And make sure you pick, you know, an inspiring role model. All right. Don't pick some loathsome individual that just breaks things down, man. You know, nowadays I have to say that. I'm sorry. You know, some people are just picking some wrong people to look up to.
Well, you know, if I want, I got to intervene on that. You know, like, you know, Kubari, you mentioned, you know, a lot of people think Master P's first album is Ice Cream Man, you know, but that was when he was already made. Like, that was his big deal. That was the big one. That's why he's on the cover with that scoop, just like, bow, bitch, I made it, you know. But if you listen to his older, gutter, grimy, dope Dylan in the street hustle, I knew right then, like, this dude's going somewhere, because he took his street hustle to the business, and he was all about himself. He knew, I'm worth more than y'all can pay me. Y'all want to give me this, like, and everybody. So I do my best not to like say like this or that about this person, because whatever situation they're in, but I definitely try to hear when they're speaking from their heart. Like, I might be here, but in 10 years, I'm going to be here. You can believe it or not. But those are the types of people I really admire a lot, because I've just seen too much in the streets. So.
When you start talking about Master P and stuff, I look at Kubari's background, and I see him with a filter and some lights.
Just getting it. Like an 8 Mile.
Yeah. Everybody from the 313.
313. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is time for the Jiggity Joke Session.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 3 comedians in the house tonight. And Kubari, you are the guest, sir, so you do get to go first.
Okay. The tallest man in the U.S. died, and standing at 7 feet 8 inches with a 26-10E shoe size, the question on everybody's minds is, how big was his dick? Unfortunately, inquiring minds will never know, as Igor Tiny Dicksky was cremated today.
Sorry, ladies. We'll never know, man. Cremation is a sin.
The only thing in the jar was his dick ashes.
2. It was 2 urns. All right.
2 urns.
All right, Kev, you're up.
Peloton in effort to cross-market Peloton, has now introduced the new branch called Urban Peloton, designed for Blacks, Latinos, and white people that say, for show. This is where they take the screen, right, and put it from the front of you and put it behind you and simulate police chasing to get you motivated. And I did great tonight. I did 2 miles, 3 fences, 4 backyards. They have different rides, like Rodney King's ride, the ride that kicked my ass, the Harriet Tubman ride, Think Tough Mudder with a freedom twist, and of course, the OJ ride, which the system was so messed up that the ride I just got off of for free.
Yeah.
Aye.
Nice. Very nice.
Nice.
Good.
Beautiful.
All right. My turn, right? I've noticed that America used speed and intensity to pull out of Afghanistan, thus leaving the goats feeling used, abused, and now are single parents. Nice. All right, that was funny. All right, we've all done one. Kubari, you are up.
Well, growing up, we had role models like Mike Tyson, Princess Diana, Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson. Hell, even in the early 2000s, we had Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake. Now it's 2021, and we have pronouns and TikTok challenges with milk crates. Without the milkman in sight. I mean milk lady or a milk person.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Very nice.
Fun.
Great
Funny.
job. All right. Kev, I believe you're up.
I can go. Yes, sir. Man. Being a Mexican. Okay, here we go.
Hey now. Being Mexican, not a Mexican, all right?
No, I get
Hey.
All right, I'm ready. Let's go. School back in session, man. Anyway, being Mexican is a lot like being weed. Even if you're legal, you still need papers.
Zero. Gotta crumble
Roll
it up.
them up.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Brush a bit, little bit.
Doesn't matter. All right. Good one. All right, my turn.
Uh-huh.
All right. I was a college undergrad for 9 years, obviously. I know there's a name for people who attended college for 9 years. Unemployable. Yeah, it's just... I don't have a job. Please help. Click the link on the Amazon. All right, we need as much help as we can get, folks. All right. Kubari, you are up, sir.
Okay. I tell you, things just aren't the way they used to be. A couple of years ago, I was out riding bikes with my son when I told him, I think we should get some pegs and do some tricks. He immediately turned and said, hell yeah, Dad. I'm down with tricks, but no one is ever pegging me. I told him how fun pegging is and that I used to do it all the time when I was younger.
Right.
Fast forward today, he came out as gay and told me, thanks for the pegging advice.
Nice.
Wow. Things just aren't what they used to be.
It's not the same. Generational difference.
Oh,
Man.
man.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Dad.
It's true.
Thanks, Dad.
All right, Kev, you're up.
Yes, sir. Boom. What do you call the person who works the catwalk in a naked fashion show of Big Beautiful Man?
What?
A role model.
I could be a role model.
That flowed perfectly after pegging. I mean, come on.
Ouch.
Nice. All right, my turn. Ready? I'm dating a white woman, so I'm experiencing a bit of white privilege lately, and I'm concerned for myself. It could get a little bit out of hand. The other day, I was in Starbucks, and they were out of cake pops. I got pissed. I took off my Croc, and I threw it at the wall. This is bullshit.
Nice.
That's funny.
Good stuff.
I took my
good.
Croc off.
Nice. All right, Kubari, you are up, sir.
Taco Bell is so bad they can't even give their company a slogan. Yeah, all they have is the bell, bung, which makes sense. I mean, what are they gonna say? Come get some of the shittiest food on the planet? I made the mistake of eating Taco Bell around some Mexicans once. Big mistake.
Yeah.
It beat me up like I was a little chihuahua.
Yeah.
Actually, they did have a slogan back in the day, which, I always felt it was kind of racist. Taco Bell, run for the border. I mean, I feel like it's hella racist. I mean, I've never heard of a soul food restaurant with a slogan that says, get your black ass back to Alabama. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice.
Alabama. Boy.
Kubari, thanks for being on the podcast, man, and adding to the funny. Is there anything that you like to promote, shows or social media handles?
Yes, but before I do, let me give you my extreme thanks for having me on the Dumb Podcast. I had a great time. You guys are hilarious comedians in your own right. I'm big fans of your guys, and I'm big fans of this podcast.
Thanks,
being a part of it
Thanks.
tonight was
Thanks,
a
Kumar.
special experience for me. I do have some things coming up. September is going to be an interesting month for me. I'm taking part in Trash or Treasure. It's a new game show type, debate type show. It's going to be September 8th at the House of Comedy. We're going to be given a number of topics that's going on in our world socially on the day of, and we're going to debate them. I'm really excited. This is going to be my first type experience like this, and I'm looking very much forward to throwing my name in the hat and
Nice.
doing some improv
Yeah.
on some subjects and that's coming up on September 8th. Trash or Treasure.
Okay.
September 12th, I'm doing a feature spot at JP's Comedy Club. Really excited about that. And then September 24th is a headlining gig, JP's Comedy Club. I'm really excited. It's going to be a party. It's a 9 p.m. show. I'm looking to let it all hang out, do about 20, 25 minutes of comedy, some of my best stuff. I'm going to be looking to be really, really high at this event. So please join me. Man. We should have a great time. Yes. I'm so thankful for you listening. So thankful for you tuning in to the Dumb Podcast. My name is Kubari Eady. You can find me on social media at Comedy with Kubari. Also, if you liked any of the jokes you heard, that's great. Comedy with Kubari. If you didn't like the jokes that you heard, my name is Theo Huxtable from The Cosby Show. And, you can find me on social media there. Thank you guys so much.
Outstanding, man. Great
having you. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay safe and have fun in life.
Yo, and thanks for coming out. You know, as always, live to laugh and laugh to live.
Beautiful.
Because without laughter, what's the point, people?
True. Peace.
Peace out.